This wedding was an assignment for my Religion 2 class in Catholic school.
This one's wife. The kids don't like her. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This one's wife has formed in the past for situations involving children not really going to plan. One memorable instance, I think it might have been somewhere in the northwest of England, where some children were very reluctant to go near her when she was still undertaking work for the royal family. Indeed, it was as if they were being shoved towards the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, that they were, "No, don't make me go near the weird woman. She looks at me strange. I think she's going to eat me or absorb my soul, mummy. Please, no," cried the children, as this one's wife sought to lure them into her and failed miserably. We saw the way that she handled Archie in his early years when he was wearing a very full nappy and didn't appear to be comfortable sat around her. Given that she has an absence of emotional empathy, this is something which means that the apparent maternal aspect of her is missing. I've explained before that one of the reasons it is likely that the children are never seen is that she simply wouldn't be able to interact with them and control them appropriately in public, leading to too many threats to control, because she doesn't have that maternal instinct. While she likes to operate the facade of being a good mother and as a mum, we don't actually see her act that out with regard to her children in any unscripted scenarios. It's also the case that children seem to sense that there is something not quite right about her. Now, children can be naturally shy around adults or be shy about being thrust into certain situations. So one has to, for the purpose of balance, factor that into interactions. But this one's wife, although she can't stand children because children get in the way, she will utilize them, like anybody else, as an object for the furtherance of the prime aims. And we're going to see two pieces of video footage linked to the Invictus games, which demonstrates that the kids don't really like her. Let's have a look at the first one, which involves two children from Team UK.
Good to see you guys too.
This piece of footage comes from when this one's wife was engaging in some story time. Quite what that's got to do with the Invictus games is anybody's guess, and more about that later. But you'll see that this one's wife is sat as if she's Santa Claus, inviting the children to come forward and be seen with her. Once again, her narcissism will cause her to think that she's doing a nice thing. Here I am, greeting the children, chatting away with them, and she doesn't think in terms of, oh, this will be a great photo opportunity for me to be seen with the children. The narcissism causes her to believe that the children like her, the children want to be with her. And you'll notice that two young boys who are part of the Team UK family are brought forward to have their photograph taken with this one's wife. The one nearest the camera clearly doesn't want to get too close, so out comes one of the tentacles to wrap around him, as this one's wife asserts physically the control over him by drawing him in, and the other, perhaps his brother presumably, smiles somewhat reluctantly for the camera. This is all good for this one's wife, for it demonstrates that she sees herself as child-friendly and lovable. She regards it as ultimately good PR for her. But what's really going on is it enables her to assert control over the children, who are non-intimate tertiary sources. They're strangers to her. It manages the facade, both in terms of the other people that are there, the three mums, and the other older children that are gathered around, as well, of course, in relation to wider publicity through the media. But you can see the hesitancy in those two boys to become involved with this one's wife, demonstrating that whilst she wants to utilize them, they clearly have a degree of reluctance about being utilized by her. We're now going to see another piece of footage from the games, which is problematic for this one's wife and underpins that not only do the children not like her, but it shows that were it not for the man that she would be the man that she married, nobody's really interested in her. Let's have a look at this piece of footage. Two pieces of footage combined which are taking place at one of the wheelchair events, and you'll see that this one's wife and Harry are right next to the court, and Harry is engrossed in a discussion with two children dressed there in their coats, and they're paying rapt attention to what he has to say. Now, say what you might about Harry, he is good at talking to children. It might be said that that's because intellectually he's at their level. But putting that to one side, he is able to sit and chat with them quite successfully. And you'll notice their interest is simply in Harry. They are not interested in this one's wife. She is sat next to Harry and at first is looking at the children and smiling, but they pay her no attention whatsoever. That will, of course, wound her. Here, we don't see any presentation of the ignited fury that lurks beneath the surface at being ignored by two rugrats. Instead, her facade holds good. And she then looks back to the game. It's unclear as whether she's actually talking to herself or the lady next to her. A little bit later on the footage, she does turn to that lady and acknowledge her. Perhaps she's asking her if she'd like a Werther original or such like. It remains to be seen. I'm not able to lip read what's being stated. And this one's wife then turns back to the children and attempts to engage with them again. But their eyes are solely on Harry, who's animatedly chatting away with them, and away they go. It then cuts to two even younger children that have appeared, and it looks like they've got some kind of gift for Harry. It might be a box set of H.G. Tudor's books, Escape, Exorcism, and No Contact, to enable him to beat the Narcissist. Quite possibly, it might just be a packet of wine gums for him. It's unclear what it is. But once again, you'll notice that the children are engrossed in engaging with Harry. This time, because the children are stood in front of her, this one's wife makes more of an effort to try and speak to them. And briefly the boy does turn to her, but probably mutters under his breath, "There's a strange smell about you and you scare me," and therefore turns back to Harry. It's quite clear that the kids don't really like her, aren't interested in her. Not just once, but twice. And this demonstrates something. Harry's the draw in all of this. Harry is the one that they're interested in. Harry is the one that people want to see. She's the plus one. She is the spare. She is the hanger-on. She is the tag-along. And this is clearly demonstrated in this footage, whereby the children have no interest in her whatsoever. Now remember, she doesn't like children as a narcissist. They're pesky, they get in the way. They're only of use for the image that she wants to project of as a mum and of being a kind and considerate person. On this occasion, despite being ignored twice by the children, her facade management remains intact. She doesn't suddenly flick one across the ear or turn and snarl at any of them. The facade management does its job. But it is another demonstration of the fact that children simply don't like her. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.